So yeah, I went up to 45 Drives with some other creators, Jeff Gilling, Jeff from Craft Computing, Wendell, and we all went up there and we got to meet everyone at 45 Drives and kind of see how 45 Drives operates. It was really cool. It was a creator summit to talk about storage. We all brought our own topics. We all prepared. We talked about them and we discussed them. I had a video on it that I released that kind of went over, what we talked about. I didn't go into detail what I talked about. My friend was razzing me because he's like, Wendell and everyone, both Jeffs, brought all these great topics and you came to talk about RGB. No, that is not what I talked about. I should have thrown it in the video, but I did talk to him about, noise factor, low power, high power, all of these things that people will care about since they're going to be entering the consumer market. Things I've thought of too, I hope. But anyways, then we got a huge tour of their labs, of their headquarters, got to see all their devices and got to see the HL15, which is pretty cool. And I know people have lots of opinions about it, and I share a lot of them too. So, but that was cool. So that happened. Then after that, I got sick. I contracted COVID on the way home, which sucked. I mean, I don't know if it was on the way home, but there was a point in time where I was well, and then I got home, and then a day later I had it really bad. So yeah, I had it really bad. This is actually my second time having it, and this time was actually worse than the first, I will say. It was bad, and had a terrible voice. My voice is still a little bit different, still a little bit lower, because it's still like, I feel like it's still in my system, even though I'm not contagious. Anyway, so that lasted about 2 weeks, and I still feel the effects. It's totally weird. This time was definitely worse than the first time. Anyways, got over that, and I'm sure there's more stuff in there. But anyways, and then the stream on Friday, it was kind of working, but doing this consulting plus content creation, kind of gig. I have 2 jobs right now, like legitimate 2 jobs. Whereas before, one was a hobby, one was a job. Fridays are getting to be tough to stream, mainly because like a lot of either people want to have meetings on Fridays, or the company, I'm still working for, consulting for, they have things they want to talk about on Friday, or like just random things like, hey, I've noticed a lot of people from, the area that I used to work with want to have lunch on Fridays. That's turning into a thing. Whereas it wasn't before because I didn't have the option to because I was working. So anyways, I'm going to try to button it up and try to make it a little bit more predictable. Okay. So those are my excuses. They're not great ones, but those are my excuses. Crack Kitty, how's it going? Finally a stream I can catch. Good to see you, Tim, and everyone. Dude, good to see you too, man. I saw you posted your new home for your lab, your home lab, your new home lab, new home, lab. Or is it new, home lab? Either way, I think it's old home lab, new home. I saw that in Discord. Awesome. Looking good, man. It's good to finally see the full rack. So hope you're doing well. Glad to see you're back. I have a feeling like this time of year, people get back into labbing. I feel like, from fall on, after kids get back at school, the weather gets a little bit cooler. They need to heat their home with their servers. People kind of get back into labbing. So it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Dude, thanks for the hype train. Dude, Palace Games, thanks for the resub. Prime, 22 months. Thank you. Crack Kitty, that was also 22 months. Thank you. Oh, Joan I got to get this. Joan Farisid gifted a tier 1 sub. Dude, thank you for the gifted sub. Zero Sleep, IGN. Enjoy your gifted sub from Joan Farisid. Farisid. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But, dude, thank you. Appreciate it. So anyways, all that aside, what I've been working on lately, well, then I had a thing with Plex. That was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome to be picked by Plex to, do a deep dive on stuff. I totally get it. Like, I get it. Like, people, I realize too, like, I've done tons of tutorials on the past on Plex, and, it's hard to tell, like, people's interest and either their like or dislike for certain products. When I do tutorials on stuff, the people who like it gravitate towards it. This time, for some reason, it brought out all kinds of pitchforks and all kinds of everything about all sorts of stuff. And so I get it. I get, you know, there's you choose your teams, you choose your software, you choose your platforms, and you know, you choose Plex, or you choose Jellyfin, or you choose whatever you want to choose. I totally get it. But hopefully some people got some benefit out of that. So that was awesome. Anyways, I personally, I thought that was really awesome that Plex found me and asked me to do it, because it was pretty cool. And you know, it was a sponsored video. I rarely do that, but this was more like they sponsored the video and they were like, do a deep dive topic. It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna tell you what to say, what not to say, and all this. They were awesome to work with, really awesome to work with. And I get it. It's polarizing. That's all I'm gonna say about that, dude. Mr. Self-Destruct, thanks for the resub Prime 2 months. Thank you so much. And dude, I'm going HemC4. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Level 2 complete. Thank you. Hype Train refresh. Thank you. Level 3. But anyways, so I get it. Like, I get it. People love Jellyfin. I get it. People love Plex, and I totally get it. I've used both. I will say, though, in my defense, I feel like I have to defend myself sometimes or something. You know, I've done the EPG and I've done live TV on Jellyfin. It is not great. And that's not me trying to take a jab at them. They'll even say, like, hey, this isn't fully featured or fully fleshed out, because you got to buy an EPG if you go with Jellyfin for live TV. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah, but with Plex, you obviously need a Plex pass for it. But you know, if you're going to pay for one, it just depends. Anyways, I'm going to get over that topic because I know it's polarizing. I didn't know it was polarizing until I did a full video on it. Usually all my other tutorials about, hey, throwing video cards, doing Docker with it, all that stuff, people were kind of okay with it. This time people were like, anyways, it was a fun topic to do with live TV, something I've been doing for a long time. My antenna's up there and I love it. I think my wife loves it more than I do. I mean, I love it because I get to like run this service that she gets to use all the time. So it's super fun to me. Because no matter what the service is, I get a ton of enjoyment out of hosting something that other people use. That's why I build software. I'm a software developer too. There's nothing worse than when you build a feature or build a piece of software and no one uses it. You know, it doesn't matter what technology, what stack it is, how well the code's written. But for me, when no one uses it, you know, it's a lot less satisfying. And I'm that way too about my self-hosting stuff. I love it. I love it when people use the stuff that I self-host in my home. Mostly it's me. But this is one of the few things where my wife is like, yeah, I'm in. I'm using this. So anyways, that aside, there is a ton of crap going on back here. I will say crap. It's a technical term. But I have a huge project going on back there. That's my, if you haven't seen it, it's my, I bought a Mac Studio. I bought it a while ago, and I've kind of been sitting on it until I got through Canada, the HL15 project, the Plex project, and then doing a DIY radiator thing for my wife. I've been sitting on this fully boxed for a long time, and it's something that I need to do to replace my aging MacBook that I have here for work and for building apps and stuff like that. It's things I can't do on Windows. So anyways, that's pretty cool. I got that coming. I'm actually going to rack mount it and throw 8 NVMe SSDs inside of it. So that's pretty cool too. And anyways, and this weird, there's my toolbox / mobile workstation with a ton of stuff on it. That is full of junk too. And then right next to it is this, this table, which I'm actually gonna put my mini server rack on top of that stainless steel table. I don't know if you saw in Discord, like maybe a week ago, I was trying to find something to prop up my server rack, which is down here on top of something, so I can get to it without bending over instead of having it on the ground. It's a weird dimension, but I finally found something that's gonna work, and it's strong enough. I tried to go the IKEA route, and the IKEA route, like all of their stuff, the max weight was like 22 pounds, and I was like, oh, or no, it was 40 pounds on some things, 50 pounds on others. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to do. That's not happening, Even if I, am borderline 40, 50, 60 pounds, I'm not going to, put an entire server rack on top of that. Anyways, this is rated for 300 pounds, so we'll see how it does. Anyways, all that aside, let's get into comments. Let's get into chat. Let's see what you're up to, because I haven't talked to you in a while. So I'd love to see what you're working on. give me some inspiration for some other things. I do have a couple of self-hosted things coming right after this project too, but I need to get through these projects so I can do others. My next, I have 2 hardware projects coming up. I'll just spill all the beans. 2 hardware projects, big ones, maybe 3. This one is my Mac Mini. After that, I'm going to be building a brand new Windows PC, my new Windows workstation that drives all of this. I'm going to be rack mounting it, and I'm putting it in a Sliger case that is water cooled too. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So rack mounted, brand new Intel 14th gen, I hope, fitting inside of a Sliger case that is water cooled. So it's going to be pretty fun. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I can't wait. I've been waiting to build my Windows PC for so long. I almost pulled the trigger last fall. And then I wasn't too impressed with, the 13th gen. And I know 14th gen is kind of a refresh, but I can't wait for 15th gen. So we'll see. But I'm super excited about it. I'm mostly excited about it because I have a Sliger case to put it in, and I'm going to water cool it, and it's going to be rack mounted all in here. And so you guys are probably like, what the heck? Is he rack mounting everything in his office? Yes, I am rack mounting everything in my office. I'm so tired of cords and wires and stuff going everywhere. I figured the cleanest solution for me, and it kind of fits me, it's kind of on brand, is to rack mount all of my stuff inside of my office. So now it's like I'll just have one central place for cords instead of this rat's nest I have going on here. Anyways, let's get into comments. Let's see what you guys are up to. Let's see what you're doing, and let's talk. Let's talk tech. If you got something you want to talk about, share, throw it in chat. Let's talk. Hey, CBN Sandwich, how's it going? Resub, tier 1, 16 months. Thank you so much. Whoops, missed the sub notification. It's all good. There's no harm. It's 16 months. Yeah, I'm loving it. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for the sub. Let's see. Our resub, I should say. Let's see. All right, we're hopping into chat. Let's see. Salvarius, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. G'day. G'day says, G'day. How you doing? I am doing good. Honestly, after having COVID for the second time, I think yesterday was the first day where at like 10 o'clock at night, I was like, hey, I kind of feel like the old me. Because the COVID me I've had for, it's been lingering, has been tired every night at about 8:30. I'm like, I don't think this is just like me getting old, because I'm a night owl. Like if it wasn't for my wife, I'd probably stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning every night. That's pretty much been my life since I've been like, I don't know, 18 anyways. But last night was the first night where I was like, hey, I feel pretty good at 10 o'clock. Like I'm not tired at all. It felt like the old me. So anyways, I'm doing great. I'm like, today is a good day for me. Today's a good day for sure. Let's see. I'm clicking on my own stuff. Woohoo! How's it going, Lord Harlock? Let's see. Haze. Hey, lots of haze. Sure. Yeah. Oh, Salvarius, build me a bot. Yeah, I did. It's on GitHub. Yeah, all you have to do is clone it and install your dependencies. Let's see. PC Geek new stream title. Yeah, PC/server hoarders anonymous. It totally is. It totally feels like that in here. I wish I had more space. Isn't that what we all say? But I wish I had. I mean, I can't complain. This is a dedicated room for work and content creation. It's for both. So I'm very fortunate to have my own room to do that in. But I wish I had a whole level. I wish I had a whole level. And preferably, I go for the ground or the top. I don't know. Whole level so that I could have like, hey, my stuff is stored here. Hey, my stuff I record over here. I don't know how that works out. I've seen people go back and forth on like, yeah, I'm going to separate my stuff so I can go over here and keep my stuff stored here and then come here to record my stuff. And then people end up like having cameras in 2 places. And then they realize, no, I just need one bigger room where everything is. And I think that's kind of the idea, is just to have one big open room. I don't know. Anyways, I'm hoarding a ton of stuff. I have a deadline though to get this cleaned up because we're having a Halloween party. I think my wife wants to, and she will not have it. She will not have it like this. So anyways, that's why I'm trying to like double time on getting my, my machines in a rack on a table moved to where my PC is. It's all gotta happen before Halloween. So I'm rushing. Hey doctor, Dr. Kiko, Dr. Kiku, thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Xavier, I feel attacked. Yeah, I mean, I'm attacking myself on this one. Because it's bad in here. It is bad in here. If it wasn't for the bokeh effect, you guys would be like, whoa, what is going on in there? You might be anyways. But throw a little lights on there, little bokeh, kind of looks okay. Or it doesn't look as bad, I should say that, for sure. Something about that doesn't sound right. I know. Bill Mayer, hey Tim, I found something awesome for self-hosters that I think you should look at. Breaker. Oh man, this is German. This is testing my German pronunciation. I'm not the greatest at this. It's Breaker LinkedIn. I feel like I'm getting trolled right now. I like LinkedIn. It feels like LinkedIn, but yeah, I will definitely look at it. That I've never heard of it. I'll totally look at it for sure. I have a grab bag right now of self-hosted stuff I need to get through too. That too. It's tough to bounce between hardware, software, and then life stuff too. That's kind of what I've been doing lately, and it's hard to bounce between them all. I almost feel like I need another channel, so I don't have to bounce around. I just put things in the channel where it goes. Anyways, let me turn. I saw a flicker on my camera. Usually when I see that, it means could be overheating. I need a fan. I need a fan on it. Let's see. Bill Mayer, and your video got me to pre-order an HL15. Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome. It's there. Not my goal. Honestly, I think 45 Drives is a great company. I think they're doing a lot of good things. They're a very small company. They have employees that they need to, to feed, I guess I should say, or pay to work there. And there's a lot of nice people that work there. I think they're a good company, at least from what we've seen. And, I appreciate you supporting them. That's not my goal. I tried to treat that video like just kind of reporting the facts. But I appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like my AV15, different, but a little bit less in as far as hardware goes. But backplane and stuff and all that, just like my AV15. It's pretty awesome. I do wish it was cheaper though. Yeah, I hear that a lot. And I agree. It's a lot of money. I'm not here to say like, yeah, it's a great value. It's hard for me to define value. I think it's up to you to define the value. I will say though, there's me looking at it and say, yes, $800 is a lot of money. For the case and the backplane and everything, all the wires, that's a lot of money. Either way you look at it, that's a lot of money. If I were trying to convince myself, or my wife, she had to have no idea what I was talking about. But if I were trying to convince myself, I would look at it like this. This is not me convincing you. These are the things that I would say to myself to convince myself that, hey, it might be an okay buy. One, it's open hardware. It's going to fit any, ATX power supply and any ATX case. Okay. Not possible with a lot of, other vendors, server cases. Two, it's all made of steel. Hey, that might be a good or bad thing. Who knows? I think it's a good thing because it's going to last forever. You're not going to just accidentally crack the steel. If you do, there's probably a warranty that'll fix it. Two, there are three. I don't know which one I'm on. A lot of the parts for customizations are printable. Pretty awesome that they're doing that. And then the last thing I look at it, I feel like it's a case forever. This isn't like, and we've all done this, and some people are still doing it. You go on eBay and you buy a server from 10 years ago that was $20,000 at the time it was released, but now it's a couple $100, and you max it out. And once you max it out, that's it. You can't do anything else. I mean, when I say max it out, you swap out. You give it the best CPU, you give it the most RAM, and you're kind of stuck. Because most likely you're not going to get another motherboard and replace all of that. So that's where I kind of feel like this is a forever case, I will say, in a backplane, as long as, hard drive speeds don't increase over the next 10 years. So that's what I would say to myself if I was trying to convince myself. I guess those are the highlights that I see. Yes, the cost. It is a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. Is that expensive? I don't know. I don't know what it costs for them to to hire people to do R&D, to pay the people that do it, to have engineering, to have support, and they're a small company. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their margins are. I don't know what their COGS are, the cost of goods. Sorry, I've had all these questions like directed at me during this video. I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I'm just reporting the facts. I don't set the prices, but I will say that, any way you look at it, $800 is a lot of money. I mean, that might be a house payment for some, or half a house payment. Who knows? That's a lot. That's a lot. So it's up to you to decide if it's worth it. It's not up to me. It's up to you, because it's your money, not mine. Let's see. Music driver. Hello, folks. The Windows was just open from yesterday, and I stayed open accidentally. And now I see Sir is online. How long? Hey, I feel like this is like almost like a poem or something. Oh, I see what you mean. So you had Twitch open in the background for a long time, and all of a sudden I popped online, and you were like, whoa, he's live now. Hey, that is awesome. I thought this was like a figurative like window, like a real window. I was like, yeah, I opened my windows this morning too, because it was nice and cool and damp. How long online? About 45 more minutes, roughly. I usually go roughly an hour. I might go a little bit longer today. I'm going to try to plow through comments, and we'll see. We'll see. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. 11 minutes so far. Thank you, guys. Music driver, thanks. Then nothing. I have questions. Now I have to put my thoughts together. Hey, I'm here. I'm here for a while. Bill Mayer, searching on that just brings up LinkedIn. Yeah, I thought so too when it said LinkedIn. I hope LinkedIn is a thing, because if not, we should make it, because that is a great name. I hope that was a typo. I'm gonna try to buy a LinkedIn.com. No, maybe not. Don't go there. Don't go there. You don't know what's gonna be there. Lauren Gardenome, how's it going? Oh, much excited. Glad to catch the stream. Hello from Italy. Hello from Italy. How are you? Good to see you. Hello from the United States. Palace Games. I ordered the same server rack you used to have, the 18U open rack. Awesome. As soon as I get my office cleaned up and organized, I'm going to record myself putting that sucker together. Lol. Yeah, that rack is awesome. I hope you have a big hard drive. I hope you have a big micro SD card to record that footage, because it takes a long time. I'm not going to lie. The 4-post open frame sys racks that I have takes a long time. All those do. I think I messed up a few times and like put something in backwards, and I'm like, great, I got to take it out, and put it back together. I think I had over 3 hours invested in putting together my 18U rack, almost to the point where like when I went to sell it, I was like, I'm not even making any money back on the labor. Like, the person who's buying it from me is like, sure, I'll buy it pre-assembled. That's great. It's like, when you go to Home Depot or something and they have something pre-assembled, you're like, yeah, I'll take it. Or a bike, yeah, I'll take it pre-assembled. Why wouldn't I? I don't want to spend, 40 hours putting something together. But man, it takes a long time. That aside, it is a great rack. Again, that's a lifer. You will have that rack for life. That is the heirloom rack right there. It's all steel. The casters, can be replaced if something goes wrong, but nothing's going to break on that rack. It's all steel, heavy duty, and it's going to be great. And the casters are standard, so if something happens, you can replace the casters. You can even replace them with better casters if you want to. So that's a life rack. It's pretty awesome. I loved it until I outgrew it, and then I decided I'm going to go a little bit bigger. But for most people, most people I know that have racks, all two of them, that's the one they have. I know in real life, excluding people that I met, on YouTube. Bill, GitHub equals Sister Brooker LinkedIn. I'm checking that out tonight. Nuck. I'm going with Nuckin. Hey, Tim, New Night. There we go. Oh, geez. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name phonetically. Thank you. New Night, getting back into Homelab and IT courses now that is fall is nearing. That's exactly what I was talking about. Tis the season. Dell R710, but unfortunately it's non-heat. It's non-heat garbage. MT weather. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like those are great starter servers. It's more than a starter server. You can have that server for a long time. It does give off some heat, so I get it. I think that's why a lot of people return back to home labbing in the fall, especially if you live in an area where you don't have air conditioning. If you don't have central air, a lot of people are just like, nope, tapped out for the whole summer. I'm not gonna do that and heat the whole house during the summer. which you don't want to do. And some people just, even if they have AC, are like, nope, not going to spend money cooling the house extra because I have this thing running. But awesome. Glad to see you back. Glad to see you back. Thusi Enthusiast Gaming. I like it. Thusi Enthusiast Gaming. Working on setting up HashiCorp Vault to manage app secrets and environment variables in all of my Docker containers. That is awesome. Not something I've done yet in my home lab. I've worked with HashiCorp Vault at other places, at places I've worked. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I don't use a vault. Maybe I should. I don't know. I still use SOPs, and I encrypt them, and I commit them encrypted. So I do it that way. But every now and then I think like, yeah, it would be nice to have a vault that I could keep my secrets in, and manage my secrets that way in a vault rather than manage my secrets in code. I will say though, encrypting them and having them in code is great. It's great when you're a developer of one because you're like, I'm the only one who needs the encryption key. Yeah, like who cares, But once you start moving outside of one, that's where SOPs encryption of your secrets doesn't scale the greatest. I get it. You can share that key, but then you're sharing like the keys to the kingdom to everyone, and you don't have great, you don't have any, authorization. You can't say, oh, this person gets this secret and, these roles get these keys. So anyways, you're going down the right path. It sounds awesome. I need to do some more vault or some secret management in a vault type scenario in my home lab at some point. I'm still doing Kubernetes stuff. Don't think I'm like, hey, he's not doing any Kubernetes stuff. I do it. I do it all day. I was doing it this morning. I just haven't done any Kubernetes content in a little bit. I think people I've beaten people over the head with Kubernetes content. It's taking a little break and letting things evolve a little bit more. Because there's some cool stuff coming too. PC Geek, I have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet on my main PC now, thanks to multi-gig switch from Amazon I picked up on sale. Plus, with some Amazon points netted me like $55. That is a great deal if you use points and only spent $55, and it probably was a good deal too. 2 10 gig SFP Plus and 4 2.5 gig Ethernet. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. You're beating me. I have a 2.5 gig switch in here. It's going downstairs. I haven't racked it yet. It's actually racked in my mini rack because I'm like, I'm going to put it in there. And so it's waiting to be racked to my main switch. But I'm going all 2.5 gigabit here soon. And it's tough because, it's like my Intel NUCs support 2.5 gigabit. Right now they're running my Kubernetes cluster. And I'm like, I'm only getting 1 gigabit on these. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's great. Where it's not so great is when I need to do backups and I see, backing up one VM taking 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that could be faster with 2.5 gigabit for sure. And so, yeah, I'm going down the 2.5 gigabit route too. I can't wait. And then I'm running 10 gig up here. And then I'll have 10 gig going down to my basement too for uplinks. And then some of my local machines will be connected 10 gig here too. So yeah, I'm getting some network upgrades. Hopefully I can slide everything in before the end of the year so that I can do my home lab tour and update all of the stuff that I have going on. Because it's been a while. My home lab has changed quite a bit, but I just haven't been showing it off. I need to show it off more. So anyways, awesome. Congratulations on 2.5 gigabit. I honestly think like 2.5 is really good. And I think if 2.5 would have came or been more accessible earlier, I think most people would find that it is more than enough for what they need. I feel like the only thing that really is pushing 2.5 gig Ethernet for down to consumers is that internet speeds are now getting above the 1 gig limit. And so, up until now, most people are like, what, 2.5 gigabit? Why would I need that? What is it anyways? But now when you're buying fiber and they're like, yeah, you get 2 gig and you only have 1 gig backbone at home, you're like, yeah, I probably should get the full potential and upgrade, my network to 2.5 gigabit. So I think a lot of people are going to be doing that more. Even people that you wouldn't normally think of, I'm talking about people that aren't, home labbers. It's going to be, my friend John or someone one day saying, I think I'm going to get 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. And that day's going to happen. And I'll be like, whoa, who are you? you know, and I think that day's going to happen, and I think it will be a good day. And that means that, you know, it's finally starting to become mainstream, and we can thank internet providers for that, right? I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, because they're finally getting, you know, internet speeds higher than gigabit to some people, to where they're saying like, hey, I want to get the best value. I want to get the most value out of what I'm paying y'all every month. But yeah, that's my take on it. Xavius, dude, how's it going? Wow, I completely forgot Twitch existed. You're razzing me. I like it. I deserve it. I deserve every bit of it. But I will never be away this long again unless there's something seriously wrong with me. If I am ever gone that long, yeah, something is pretty wrong. And I did have some stuff's wrong with me. I mean, I had COVID, but you know, I wasn't like dying or anything. Anyways, good to see you. Glad you're back. I deserve all the shade you guys are going to throw. So I appreciate it. Anyways, I like it. People used to razz me. My whole life I've been razzed. I have 3 brothers. They used to, you know, I joke to my wife all the time, and I say, like, I can block, you know, almost any punch coming at me. I mean, you know, to an extent. I mean, and I'm not talking about like someone coming up and totally sucker punching me, like not a real fight, but, you know, if, you know, and like my whole life growing up, I've had, you know, brothers poking and prodding me all the time from every direction. So anytime my wife's like trying to, you know, pull a fast one and like, you know, try to poke me or something, I got the block down. So anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do, but I don't. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Just skipped over that. Lester Train. Woot. Good to see you. Just started my first business. Hey, congratulations. Assesses Terraform plans with Open Policy Agent. Any suggestion on how to manage a side hustle? Yeah, how much time you got? It's tough. It's tough, and it depends on how much hustling it needs, and it depends on if the hustling is during time slots. That's what makes it harder. So for me, it was easy to have. I have a couple side hustles, but the ones you guys know about is YouTube. And for me, that was like, it was easy for me because it's easy to bucket it into nights and weekends. You know, now it's not. But before, it might go back to that. We'll see. But before, you know, it was nights and weekends, so it was easy to say like, hey, like I'm not going to do YouTube stuff until it's night or weekends. Pretty obvious. It did, you know, there are times when it did cross over though. It's like, how do I respond to comments? You know, what if I release a video midweek and now I need to do all the distribution, you know, on a Tuesday, which happens. So I had to kind of figure that out. And where I worked was totally lenient with everything. They knew like, hey, like we have nothing to worry about with Tim. Like, you know, if he, you know, takes an hour and a half off to release his video, we know he's going to be working until 6 or 7 anyway. So who cares? But I will say just, be open and transparent with your current employer. I mean, that's you know, I was open and transparent. It's hard not to be when I was, you know, on YouTube. But I would just say be open and transparent. Save some time for your family. That's a big one. I you know, been trying to learn that one. That one's tough, but I do set aside time, you know, for my wife and dogs every day because that's important. It's important to me. It's important to her. And I don't know. I would say, you know, don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself trying to do it. You know, for me, even now, it's not about money. It's about having fun and having, you know, an enriched life and having a variety. And, you know, I get that from doing lots of different stuff. That's how I get it. Like always doing new stuff and doing different stuff. And so if anytime your side hustle feels like a pain, I'd say reel it in and do stuff you like doing. I don't know. Those aren't good. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's kind of my motto is I gravitate towards what's fun and what I like doing. And sometimes, you know, a lot of times it is work because I enjoy writing software. Sometimes like when I was doing both, you know, I'd work till 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock and say, yeah, I'll record a video tomorrow. Because I was having so much fun, like building and deploying software or going live with a new feature, and I love doing it, and I love the people I worked with. So, you know, anyways, yeah, I would say that those are my tips, life tips, if you're trying to do something on the side. And you know, if it is a side hustle, still treat it like a side hobby. You know, I get it, but you might have you know, obligations, but for the most part, treat it like a hobby. You know, because then you'll find it fun. That's all I got. Takano, how's it going? My sub got mixed up with the rest. Not like this. Takano in here? Where's Takano in here? Oh, he did. Dude, hey, how's it going? Takano, it did get mixed up in there. Dude, I missed a couple. I apologize. There were a couple that went off. Bill Nash, sup, nerds? I was expecting that one. How's it going, dude? Bill Nash, I overlooked that one. I knew Bill Nash was going to say that. Dude, thank you so much. Tier 1, 18 months. And then Takano, dude, thank you so much. Resub, 34 months. Now I'm going to be attending my first tech summit this week. Awesome. Are you speaking or attending? He's going to be speaking. He's going to tell people how to use laser cutters and all kinds of stuff, building home labs. Dude, Takano, I appreciate it, man. Sorry I missed that. There was during the hype train, there was a lot going on, so I apologize. But dude, good to see you. I'm glad you said something in chat because I did not skip over it purposely. So, music driver. So, hi everyone. Hi Tim. Glad I'm here again. Networks and network card issues started. Network card wise, I started to do real things. 2 4-port in 2 machines. Proxmox ruled. I have 3 instances of pfSense, wow, VM, and have physical connections between 2 Proxmox machines. It allowed me pfSense and Proxmox controlled VLANing. It's great. Yeah, that is awesome. Wow. 3 instances of pfSense. That is a lot. I'm trying to think like, okay, so you probably have used it as basically a firewall in between your different networks. I assume you have them segmented. And then on top of that, you have, a couple of gateways in between. This sound like a home lab. You are definitely exploring something or figuring something out. But anyways, dude, music driver sounds awesome. I have 1. I still only have 1 instance of pfSense. I'm a pleb. Only 1, but that sounds awesome. Hem C4. Hi, nice to finally see you. I've been watching your videos on YouTube for quite a while. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching and sharing. I really appreciate it. G'day. I'm attempting to run Wuzza to standardize OS security. I'm trying to work out Ubuntu patching priority in terms of actually working on fixing them. I like it. Some of the things that Wuzza picks up, I like to say that like that. Wuzza picks up are as vulnerabilities are CVSS scores of 9.8. Ooh, anybody know how to prioritize working on security vulnerabilities? Anyone know how Ubuntu prioritizes? I don't. I'm going to comment on how I think it works or how it might work. I know that, software I've worked on before has had CVEs, or we've used packages that have CVEs that we need to update. I assume it's just, I don't know. I'm not going to comment because I've never done OS level stuff. But for us, it was always like, we're going to address it. It's top priority for us. It's top priority. If anybody brought it to our attention or any of our security scans see it, it's top priority. And it's going to go out in the next release. I don't know how it works for a large, distribution like Ubuntu, or if that, it could be patched upstream in Debian. Who knows? And maybe they're just like, okay, I don't know. I can speculate all day, but man, it's tough to know how they prioritize it. I would look at the issue, the actual issue. If they're aware of it, which I'm sure they are, I would find the issue. I don't think they use GitHub. They use it somewhere. I would find the issue and track it to see, for sure. Kaikon. I'm going with Siakon. I'm sure it's not pronounced that way, but happy wife, happy life. Yeah, for sure. It's takes a it's definitely, anyways. Yeah, it definitely is. I agree. I've been learning that. Over time. I've definitely been learning that over time, for sure. I thought a lot of people said that just because it rhymes and it was fun to say, but no, it's like, hey, if my wife's happy, that means that, if she's happy, I'm happy. I agree. It makes my life easier and happier, for sure. More fulfilled. PC Geek, it's like making a particular sandwich at a restaurant and no one buying it. Yeah, that's pretty sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there are a lot of metaphors out there like that. Yeah, it's tough. Like that's how, we were talking about, like me, I find satisfaction out of not only building software, but building software that people use. Anytime people ask me in interviews what I get excited about, I combine the two. It's building. There's a lot of them, but I think what I get the most enjoyment out is knowing that people are using the software that I build. And this is all going back to Plex, and it's one of the few things that my wife uses, and I love that she uses it. And I love that our live TV works so great because she's been through the gauntlet with me on this. She's been in it for the long haul. We used to watch TV on Windows XP Media Center Edition, kind of okay. Then we watched TV on Windows Media Center. I don't know. We watched TV on Vista. Windows Media Center was a Vista. Windows 7 Media Center. Then they took it out in 8 and then brought it back. And then we used to watch TV that way, and then switched over to Plex. So she's been in it with the long haul with, and I've been through all of this before. Why didn't this record? What's going on? Scheduling conflicts, not enough tuners. My show is on live, but I can't watch it now. Like, I've been through it all with her. And then now it's finally like, awesome. If you want to schedule something to record, you know how to do it. If you want to watch something, you can. Schedule everything you want. I don't care. Go crazy because we got the storage, and everything's pretty stable. So there's a few times in the last, I'd say about 6 months ago, problems with the antenna. I went up there and sorted all that out. Got a LTE filter. Got an amplifier. Probably didn't need it, but I just bought it anyways. And actually pointed the antenna the right way. I learned how to point an antenna the right way. Spoiler alert. Sometimes they're shaped like an arrow. You don't point it the way of the arrow. It's the other way around. Pretty intuitive. But anyways, it's been super solid now for a long time to where I'm just like, yeah, it's awesome. Unless I reboot the NAS, then it's kind of like, oh crap, something was recording. Got to fix that. But anyways, going back to that, yeah, I totally agree, PC Geek. It is like making a sandwich and no one buying it. That's kind of how I feel when I build software no one builds, or I have services that no one uses. Find it at Salvarius. Let's see, PC Geek, Techno Tim. I would have looked at for a shop tool stand, probably, yeah, at a place like Harbor Freight or Rockler Woodworking. Those are pretty strong. Yeah, good point. I did look. So I didn't look at Harbor Freight. That is an awesome suggestion. I think I was looking at Home Depot because I have a Husky, that's actually a Husky toolbox workbench here on the second floor of my house, weighs 300 pounds, empty. Me and the neighbor carried it up. He's probably never going to answer again when I'm like, hey, you got a minute? Anyways, so I started looking down that route because I was like, oh yeah, maybe there's a matching version of this that I could get, but they didn't have one that was like affordable. And so anyways, long story short, I should have looked at Harbor Freight. That is a good point. I totally would have driven I think we have one, 15 miles away. I totally would have done it. Anyways, I got that one, this stainless steel table, pretty cheap. It's like a restaurant quality stainless steel. Not that I'm going to be cooking or eating off this thing. But it is rated for 300 pounds. It is the right height, and it's exactly the right width and depth for my server rack. So I was like, it's around $100, and I'm like, that's the cheapest. It's the cheapest I can get by. I think I didn't look at Harbor Freight, but that was the cheapest I could get by with, with something that was still quality. I looked at IKEA, and it was like, yeah, I could get these lac things and double stack lacs. But those only hold 40 pounds each, and I was like, "Ooh, this got OSHA written all over it." Let's see. CBN Sandwich, howdy folks. Upgrading Docker base images for my Node.js workloads today, plus setting up distributed external auth NATs 2.1.0. Awesome. I'm a huge fan of keeping my Node.js images up to date. I follow LTS. I stick to LTS, and I follow their LTS train. So, new version, every, 2 years or something like that. Of course, they update them over time. But yeah, that is awesome. I love doing it. It's I've written a lot of scripts now to like loop through all my repos and do a git add, git commit, git push, git tag. So I'll open up VS Code, I do a find all, and I'll find the Docker tag version. I'll replace it everywhere because I run it, for unit tests. I run it for MVM. I run it all these, I have that version like 5 times in every repo. I'll change it once, and then I'll run this this script I have, and it'll do it all. And I'm just like, sweet. Now the build server's busy for about, an hour, and no one can get anything out. I do it at home too. I'm the only one that builds at home, but it's pretty fun. I like it. But anyways, yeah, awesome. You're keeping your Docker-based images up to date. That's something you want to do. I know most people in the Homelab are pinning the latest, which is totally fine. I would recommend pinning to the digest so that you know it changes and you could detect that change, because latest, that change isn't really detected, and you might be stuck on latest for a long time, even though they've released more latest. Digest is a good one, but I prefer release tags too. So anyways, that's awesome. And then plus setting up distributed external auth in NATS 2.10. I know nothing about that, but that sounds awesome. So distributed external auth. It sounds like I need some of this in my life for some of the stuff that I'm doing. Sounds awesome. CBN Sandwich, sounds like you got a great day. That sounds like a good Saturday. Updating all my node images. Maybe that's what I'll do after this. After this, I was gonna mow the lawn, but it's damp and gloomy and wet, and I can't mow the lawn today. Plus, I didn't put a rain delay on my sprinkler, so it's double wet. They should have known, but anyways. Chicano, I'm still waiting for Techno Tim to update his little link, so my commit gets pushed up. Wait, gets put to use. Wait, what are you waiting for? I'm waiting to update. What? How can I help, Chicano? How can I help? I update Little Link server. If you use Little Link server, one of my containers for a link collection, I probably update that image once a week, and I patch it. I patch it all the time. So if you use the digest version of that, I'm a bad developer. I don't have tag releases. I only do latest. I'm doing exactly what I tell people not to do. But I only release latest, but you should probably pin to my digest. And if you need help on that, I can definitely help you with that. But I patch that thing. I patch it at least once a week. Between node modules or Docker or anything like that, a new version of whatever, you name it, Node.js or the base image that it's based off of. I don't use the Debian one. I forget what I use. I patch it at least once a week. You get a new version of that. I keep that up to date. But let me know. So my commit gets put to use. Dude, let me know. I update that thing once a week. So your commit should have been in there a while ago, Chicano. While ago. I'll follow up. I'll ping you in Discord. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's in there. It's in there. Nobi Ryu. Hello all. I'm moving all of my VMs to a mini PC. One of those, 1 liter types. So far, so good. I have all my VMs running on one. No issues, knock on wood so far. Hey, that is awesome. Went through a similar exercise. I moved all of my Kubernetes clusters, plural, to my NUC, my 3 NUC cluster. I did that like 2 months ago. Zero problems. Outside of what I was talking about earlier, they have 2.5 gigabit NICs. And so now now I have a 2.5 gigabit switch. It's like, those three machines made me buy a new switch, which is kind of crazy to think about my evolutions of the switch. I should have bought the best of the best way back instead of slowly buying a better one each time. Anyways, story of my life. But that is awesome. That is awesome. You can get them going. I'm a huge fan of mini stuff. I've been doing, I've had NUCs forever in my environment. You'd be surprised on how much performance you could get out of something even older, how much performance you get if you just slap in, a decent amount of RAM and some SSDs. Compute most of the time isn't your bottleneck. So it's, CPU is not going to be the bottleneck. It's usually going to be RAM or IOPS on your disk. And before that, it's most likely going to be, it's going to be RAM, but I would say IOPS is probably high up on there because, but then if you don't have enough RAM, you're going to do more paging, which goes back to IOPS. So anyways, that is awesome. Yeah, even the cheap B-Link ones, you could probably, slam in 4 or 5, virtual machines, depending on what you're doing, you could probably slam in 4 or 5 virtual machines, no problem. No problem. And that's on a cheap $200-$300 machine that's maybe going to pull 20-30 watts. They're pretty incredible. Especially any newer platform. It's pretty incredible on what you can get out of it for sure. That's awesome. I hope it goes well. if it doesn't go well, let me know, because I'd love to know what you're going to run into. I mean, I like I said, I haven't run into anything. You know, I've had bumps and hiccups where I've done something dumb or wrong, but for the most part, I have 3 machines running 3 Kubernetes clusters. They're each running Proxmox, and on top of that, they're running 3 Kubernetes clusters, and I have about 4 or 5 virtual machines on each, and my NUCs are just like, come on. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Not doing Plex or quick sync with it. I've been thinking about it, but I think that might put it over the edge, or they might melt down, you know, as soon as I add that. But I could add Plex or, you know, Jellyfin, sub whatever you want in there. I could add it to my Kubernetes cluster. And the nice thing is, since they're all the same and they all support quick sync, no matter where that pod ended up spinning up, they'd all be fine, which is pretty cool to think about. That, like, yes, I don't get high availability Plex. You know, you're not going to get any of those benefits that you get for Kubernetes. But one of the challenge I had when I had, you know, different nodes was, hey, my video card's on this node. Obviously, you can fix that, you know, by pinning or affinity or what have you. Multiple ways to solve that. But once I had 3 machines that were exactly the same and they all had quick sync, I was like, hey, this is cool now. I could actually spin a Plex on any one of these and it would have access to quick sync. So I've been debating it, but I'm kind of redoing some of my infrastructure right now. I want to make sure that, you know, my most of my public stuff, quote unquote, most of my stuff in my Kubernetes cluster is running on the NUC, so that if I ever need to lift and shift that to cloud or colo, I could. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant yet to put Plex in there. Not that it couldn't do it. I think it could. But I'm trying to separate my concerns in case I ever do some colo, cloud, lift and shift stuff. Exactly what I just said. BCG, Mafni, sorry, my eyes are not tracking. Here we go. I'm a night owl too. I am too. I know you are too. Because when I'm like going to bed, you're still green light on Discord. I'm like, ooh, and you're on Eastern time. So I'm like, man, and PC Geek stays up late too. Me too. Yeah, college, I was like 4 a.m. every day. PC Geek, Mafni, where is retired Night Owl? Yeah, when you need him. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Night Owl is retired. Yeah. Maybe he is retired. Table flip. Yeah. Takano. Halloween party at Techno Tim's house. Fan meet for the first time. Yeah. Hey, well, I'm, you know, hey, yes. I would have 0 problems if you wanted to come to my Halloween party. I would have to talk to my wife, but yeah, it is getting kind of weird. But yeah, it's we did it last year with just, you know, some close friends, and we're doing it again this year, and it's I don't know, we're gonna see. My wife loves Halloween. She loves it so much, and so, you know, the easiest way to make sure that she has a good time is to have the party here, and that's not because she wouldn't have a good time other places. It's like, you know, sometimes you can't count on other people to have the party or to have the dress up party or to have, you know, because obligations of kids or whatever's going on. And so I think last year we just decided like, hey, we'll have it here. And then no one needs to worry about having it at their house or if someone's going to host it. So I think we just decided, yeah, we're going to have it. And it turned out awesome. So we're going to try it again. We'll see. So we were talking about it last night at dinner and what we could be and everything like that. So anyways, if you're in the area, ping me. We'll talk about it. What guys? Let's see. Enthusiast Gaming. Hey, Tim, working on setting up hashing. Oh yeah, we talked about that. I hope you get it. I told you I use SOPs. But yeah, I hope you get it. Bill Mayer, not being trolled. All right. This is it's a bit of a web link copy paste save thing. Oh, dang. Yeah. I like it. GitHub account protected. I like it. Okay. So this is a web copy paste thing. That's cool because I like those things. Especially, you know, going between platforms. I think that's everyone who uses Windows, because Windows doesn't have a tablet or a mobile device. That's everyone. I think you get the remote copy and paste too if you use Edge on any other device too. I think you can do it that way. But this is cool. I like it. I like it. And I've also noticed there are some pretty awesome file transfer ones too. So, if you don't have AirDrop support, you don't use Apple stuff, there's some open source stuff too to do it, self-hosted in a browser. And it's really awesome. I actually used it. I used one version of it and I was like, I see how powerful this is now. Some of my parts. Hi all, I recently been working on Kubernetes node autoscaler for a Proxmox K-Proximate. I like it. I'd love to get some feedback from anyone willing to try it out from their cluster. Can I post a link here? You can't hear it because it'll be blocked, but I would highly recommend that you join the Discord if you haven't already, and we have a Kubernetes section where you can post it, but I would recommend posting that in like the My Projects section or the Community Projects section because it's stickier there. But yeah, that sounds awesome. Auto-scaling with Kubernetes and Proxmox, awesome. So I've used auto-scaling. We use auto-scaling at work, and I've used it in GCP and a little bit in AWS, but it's awesome. Like we auto-scaled our GitLab build servers up. Anytime there's a couple builds pending, we'll scale out, our runners and scale out new nodes, and it'll build all of our projects. And then when it's done, when it passes a certain threshold for the requests for more nodes or because of CPU and RAM, basically, it'll scale back down to 1. So it's pretty awesome. I've done a lot of it. Haven't done it with Proxmox, and that sounds cool to be able to scale Proxmox. So Proxmox would spin up VMs to then deploy Kubernetes to them, or maybe they already are through an image. Depends on how you architect that. And they'll take on some workloads and then automatically scale back down once the threshold has no longer been exceeded. So it's pretty awesome. I've thought about it. I don't have anything at home that would actually use that. The only thing I can think of is my builds. When I was talking earlier, when I do my crazy script and go through all of my Docker images and update them and patch them with the latest version of Node.js, and I shoot out 30 builds at once. That's where I could see it being cool. But for now, it's just wait longer. But it sounds cool. But yeah, post it in Discord. Twitch is probably not the best place to do it. One, because you can't, because links are disabled. And two, because it's not as sticky. So I would definitely post it there. Don't think link. Yeah, dude, you said it in 2 seconds. I should read the next comment. But interesting nonetheless. Noise Marine. Make sure I'm reading that right. Yes. Cleaning up my newly acquired Gen 8 ML350Ps. Have 3 and getting another one in a month for free. Nice. Along with another Gen 9 ML350 in free for a month's time. Yeah, lucky you getting all this free stuff. Is it you getting it from a friend, from a business, or just from a local secondhand market? Sounds awesome. Lucky, yeah. Free stuff is fun. It is totally fun, especially when you get new servers or systems for free. It's fun to clean them up and make them new again. I don't know, and then upgrade them to the max. I always had a ton of fun doing that. I had a lot of people giving me their old PCs for a long time. And I just loved, I don't know. I loved just cleaning it up, giving it some RAM and whatever and making it nice. And then I would put Linux on it. Then I would usually donate it. And it was just fun. I should do that again because I really enjoyed it when I used to do that. I used to do it a lot. I used to donate, 4 or 5 PCs to Goodwill. I don't know, a year that I found and fixed up from parts. It was fun. I should get back into it. Bill Nash, how much? Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you for helping. Bill Mayer. I'm going for 2,000 pre-built. Oh, yeah. I trust that their servers and hardware knowledge and getting the 8 Bay NAS from Synology would cost as much, if not more. And that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, the pre-built looks pretty solid. The CPU is, it's no slouch, but then again, it's no full-blown enterprise CPU, but I think the most important, well, one, it's powerful, and two, and most importantly, it has enough lanes to keep all of those, has enough lanes to keep the CPU fed from due to the backplane and all the disks. So that's the most important piece, I think, too. But yeah, it's I agree. You'll pay the same amount, but I think you'll like I said earlier, you have a lifer, and at some point you're like, hey, I don't want this. I want a new board and a new Xeon in here. You could definitely do it. Definitely do it because it's upgradable. Bill Nash, LinkedIn. Oh, dang it. Dang it. I don't want to know what's there. I don't want to know what's there. I don't want to know what's there. Maybe I do. Hey, I have new alerts going on there. I don't remember enabling those, but thanks, Twitch. Hey, Crack Kitty, dude, thanks for the bits. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. That was 24 minutes ago. I saw something else going on. I don't know what that was, but thank you. I appreciate it, man. Crack Kitty, I'm sorry I didn't see the bits earlier. I have alerts turned down in my ear. I figured I would see them out of the corner of my eye, but it's how my windows are arranged, so I need to rearrange them. So I appreciate it. I apologize. Bill Nash, I'm afraid to know what's on it. Yeah, me too. I'm not going to click on that. I'll let you guys report back on that one. Pretenda Soda. I like it. Pretenda Soda. I use LinkedIn for my bookmarks since I'm always switching between different browsers and I don't want to get tied to any of their proprietary sync services. Hey, that's good. I like it. I like that. This is a great use case for it, for sure. Music drivers should, you guys are figuring that out. Let me hop here. You mean the garbage wasn't heated with the Dell servers? It is now. I missed the comment. I think you guys are figuring out stuff. I'm gonna hop in here. Let's see. Lesser Train. In terms of SOPs, you can run it through AWS and their KMS service. This has the advantage of managing user account access through IAM. Hey, that's exactly what I was talking about. That was one of I thought one of the cons of running SOPs, especially if you're on a team, is that you didn't have IAM or you didn't have authorization to be able to get granular on who has access to which secrets. But I like it. That's good to know. I did not know that. So let me think about that. Run SOPs, run it through AWS, and run it through their KMS. Okay, key management service, I think. Let me see. This has the advantage of managing user access through IAM. I get it. Yeah, this sounds pretty cool. And it looks like, hey, I guess if I'm ever going to grow to a team larger than myself for my own SOP stuff, this would be the way to go. I like it. I got to see if GCP has something like this because I keep trying to convince people at work to use, something better, I guess I should say. Or something. I guess this is a better way to put it. Outside of Kubernetes secrets, because they're not really secrets. They're environment variables. There's no secret about Kubernetes secrets. They're environment variables. Autocorrect freaked out. Let's see. Looking into getting some of those. They're sweet from the price. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't remember what I was talking about. SOPs is awesome for multiple people. You can define which multiple public keys. Oh, there you go. Should use together with Flux CD2. It's an awesome combination. There you go. Okay, so that's a solve too. For multiple people, which public keys should be used. That's a solve too. PC Geek, the switch isn't managed, but it's only to have end client devices anyway. No, I totally get what you mean. I did something similar too with 10 gig, so I could have local 10 gig here, just up here in my office. But then I ended up going a little crazy, which you'll see later. But yeah, no, I totally get it, man. So you can have point to point up here, and then you just uplink it to your switch somewhere else, and you have 10 gig for the clients that are connected to it. Or sorry, 2.5. Let's see. The switch isn't meant. Oh, I read that. Pizza Geek, sweet. Might have to give him a shot. I have a MikroTik 24 gig Ethernet, 2 port SFP plus. All right, let's see. Noise burning. I think I'm at 30 10 gigabit ports, half used now. Wow, 30. So do you have like some kind of aggregation, or do you mean spread across all your devices? That is a lot. I was going to go down that path too if they're SFP plus, but then it's like, then I got to buy GBICs for everything. And that's where I was just kind of like, for me, I was trying, GBICs one are expensive, especially when you need a lot of them. Even 3 is kind of like, ooh, it's kind of salty. And then some of the newer ones I've seen can do 1, 2.5, and 10 gigabit Ethernet. Those are kind of expensive. And I was just like, it just gets expensive any way you slice it when you have SPF plus, unless you're doing DAC, because then it's like, DAC, all the things. But as soon as you want to transform that to something else, that's where it starts to get expensive for me. Because I was the same round. I'm like, do I get a link aggregation switch that has 10 or 20 SFP plus ports? And then I got into, then I need GBICs. And then I was like, man, this is getting expensive quick. And I'm just converting everything I want, 3 or 4 of them to 2.5. which then I was like, oh, well, this is 10 gig. Yeah. I mean, you guys know the mental gymnastics you have to do once you start doing the Homelab stuff. It's like, it's tough. It's tough. Techno. So getting one of those might be a good investment to get more 10 gig. Yeah, for sure. JCX, hey, how's it going? JCX Extra, how's it going? Hey, beautiful people, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. That's all I can say. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope things are going well. Hope to see you some more. PC Geek, yeah, my internet can go to 1200 megabits per second. Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. I feel like the consumer will start caring about 2.5 gigabit. I feel like 2024 is the year of 2.5 gigabit. And it's because of internet speeds. That's my prediction. It's 2024. I know that people are starting to get it now. It might be 2025, but I feel like if someone that is not that much into tech mentions 2.5 gigabit to me next year, I feel like I feel like maybe I'm right. But I think it's because of internet speeds. Because as soon as you start saying, well, you're paying for 1200 megabit, but you're only getting 1,000 megabit, people are going to be like, whoa, there's 200 megabit on the table. How do I get it? And it's going to be, it's going to be 2.5, and it's going to be like upgrade everything. Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, well, you upgrade your router and then upgrade this, or you just go to Wi-Fi 7 or something like that. I think, Wi-Fi 7 or 6 can do 1200-ish, maybe more. But yeah, it's either way. But then it's like, oh, you got to get a wireless adapter that can also do that too. So it's crazy talk. It's probably good for routers or hardware makers of networking devices for all these like slow, small, incremental upgrades over time. And like, things are backwards compatible, but everyone wants the latest and greatest, fastest thing. So they're quick to upgrade for sure. But yeah, let's see. Oh, you guys are still figuring that out. All right. I think that's in a thread. I can't tell. PC Geek, but I need a new modem since my DOCSIS 3.1 modem I have now has only 1 gigabit Ethernet on it, even though DOCSIS 3.1 can do 10 gigabit. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So your modem manufacturer cheaped out. I don't want to say cheaped out. HMM'd, holistic margin management. That's a more positive way to put it. Basically, they went with the cheaper, NIC on there or controller on there because they knew, one, they probably weren't going to provide, anything above gigabit for a long time. They've probably been on the same one for a long time. They've probably been selling the same model for a long time. And then two, 99% of the people aren't going to have gigabit anyway. So why put the more expensive controller on there? So they were managing their margins. Yeah, I totally get it. If I were a business, I would have done it too. Honestly. It's like, you spend 2x, 3x more for that controller to satisfy the 0.1%. I totally get it. But it sucks when you're on the other end of that. But if you're on the other end of that, it makes sense to me. But if you're the consumer, like, oh, now I got to buy a new modem. Yeah, it sucks. Upgrades are hard. Xavier's D, 2.5 everywhere. Will it happen? Yeah. will happen when we everywhere will happen when we are all on 40 gig or 100 gig. Yeah, I know. Xavier's D, I know. So there are a ton of people who are going to be like, yep, I'm on 25. Yep, I'm on 40. Yep, I'm on 100. But yeah, but what I'm saying is my lowest. So my network switch is going to be 2.5 gigabit. I'm upgrading all 48. I'm getting a 48 port. I should say a 48 port 2.5 gigabit switch. So now I've raised the bar. I've raised the level. The high watermark, low watermark. I don't know what it is. But now I will not have a switch port that is 1 gigabit. I mean, yeah, kind of. I will. I'm a UDM and stuff like that, but it won't be patched in or anything like that. So I've raised the floor, I guess I should say, on my network capacity. I still have 10 gig. I got 4 or 5 ports that I'm using, but the floor has now raised. Now there are no 1 gigabit ports here soon. Gonna be awesome. Bill Nash, 2.5 gigabit internet cries Starlink from the lake in the mountains. But you're crying from the lake in the mountains, and you're in a beautiful place that requires Starlink. Yeah, there's nothing Nothing to cry about there. I'd take that. I'd take slower internet to have some good scenery like that for sure. I would for sure. But yeah. The real Croton. My ISP offers two gigabits, but I don't have enough people mooching off my servers to need the upgrade from 1 gigabit. Yeah, for sure. And like I like my internet, I can get 1 gigabit. I only have, I had 300 up, 300 down, which was the cheapest thing you could get. And I would go cheaper if I could. If I could get 100 up, 100 down, I'd do it. Mainly because 99.99% of the time I'm using 0. That's when I'm not home or whatever. I mean, yeah, I have some services running at probably 3-4 meg a piece. But if you look at streaming services to stream, I think 4K, it's only like 25 megabit, probably less than that, for 4K streaming. And so it's like, okay, how many 4K streams can fit into a gigabit? A lot. Now I get it, like, every now and then if you have a 50 gig update on some game that just released, that kind of stinks. But at the same time, that service is going to limit anyways. They're going to limit to 100, maybe 200 megabit per second, 300, if you're lucky. So they have limitations on their end too. So most of the time, most people can't push the internet to you fast enough. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, if I need to download a 100 meg file, 200 meg file, a gig file, it's, do I wait 30 seconds or do I wait, 45, So I don't know. The way I look at it is like, I'm going to go cheap as possible, to save money. I'm putting $30 back into my own pocket every month, not going to gigabit. And, I enjoy it because 300 up, 300 down is awesome for me. I thought about going to gigabit for 1 month just to say I have it. But like even all the stuff I run, I self-host all the stuff. Like I look at my internet bandwidth, it's nothing. It is nothing. I think my upload's around 8 or 9 megabit on average for 24-hour period. And my when backups run, that's a different story. But even Backblaze, they throttle theirs too. And with the way Backblaze does it, it's all just-in-time stuff too, right? So it's not like I have a huge batch job running all night. It's just like, hey, this file changed. It needs to be uploaded. We don't know about it. Anyways, for me personally, I'd like to save the money because then that's $30 back to me. Then I could spend on other things. And so I know everyone values things differently. But when I start doing the math on how much bandwidth I really need, it's actually surprisingly low. Like I have friends that are like, I need to get gigabit because my internet's slow. I'm like, we need to figure out why your internet's slow if you're saying it's slow and you're getting 500 megabits per second because there's something wrong with your network that's not your internet. And maybe it might be your internet, but I don't think buying the higher plan is the way to fix that. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. I have 300 and I'm proud. I should say I have 300 up down symmetric and I'm proud. But every now and then I want to say I have gigabit just to say it. I'll get it for a month to say I have it and then go back down to the cheapest. No, I'm sorry. I have 500 up, 500 down. That was what I was trying to say is because I had 300, then they raised, the floor on the cheapest price that they have, or cheapest option. They're like, hey, we're going to raise the price $10, but we're also going to give you 500 megabit up down too. And I thought, that's kind of okay. I get it. You're also a small business. Costs are going up. And they almost doubled my speed. Like I can't be too upset. But I'm pretty. I don't know. I'm pretty. I don't know. I guess I understand a lot of struggles that small businesses go through working for startups. So I kind of see it from both sides. So $10 to double my speed. Sure, I get it. Costs are going up. I get it. You need to employ people here in the city to do stuff. I get it. You run a service. And I get it, you're not a huge media company that owns this internet company. So you know what? I'm okay with it. Anyways, I'll get out that soapbox too. JC Extra, I'll take any upgrade from 8020. Y'all are in the future with your 100 plus 300, 900. I agree. This is definitely first world problems. And it's definitely like, 100. I would argue that 99.9% of people would be okay with 100 up, 100 down. That's gonna satisfy your multiple Zoom conferences going on at the same time with your kids playing, Xbox or PlayStation while your other kids are watching YouTube or streaming Netflix. I think most of the time that's gonna serve most homes fine. But But yeah, I totally agree. I'm sorry. 80-20. Yeah, ooh, that's rough. That's rough. Especially, I don't understand why it's never symmetric. It feels like an old policy. Feels like an old policy that's based on old peer-to-peer, sharing type stuff. And they're like, we're not going to stop peer-to-peer. We're just going to limit your upload. And it's like, yeah, maybe if it were like 2002, but people have Zoom conferences, multiple Zoom conferences in a house. Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox. Let's go. Techno Tim, no, I was tossing shade at myself. Haven't been on Twitch one. I hear you. All right, I'll take shade too. I will share the shade with you. Oh, for sure. I am going overtime. I'm a half hour over. Hey y'all, I'm having a great time because I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, and it's great to have talk about these things again, because for a while it was just, I get in, I was gone for a little while, and I get inside my head and I get down about videos or whatever. And so, I miss having this time every week to talk to you guys, and I kind of get out of my rut. So, when a video doesn't do so well, you're just kind of like, oh, that sucks. And, you're like, oh man, anyways, it's great, talking to you all and sharing these ideas and thoughts and, inside jokes that we have about different things. Because it reminds me that, hey, people are still out here and still like to talk about this kind of stuff. So anyways, I am way over my time. I'm having a great time, but at the same time, I do have to cut it short. I would love to, I'm pulling this one. I'm just going to click. I'm pulling one more comment. I do apologize. This is the last one I see. It's the longest line on my screen. So I clicked it. I have no idea what it says. I have gigabit, but my house isn't wired past the modem router, so I'm running on 150 megabits over Wi-Fi. The goal is to wire the house with 10 gigabit internally and have 1 gigabit to the ISP. That is awesome. So Palace, hey, that's okay. Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E can solve a lot of that. I know people are, and I'm in that camp too. But you could look at just upgrading your access point, and then making sure you have clients that have a Wi-Fi 6 or 6E card on them, and you could 10x your bandwidth to those clients. Now, those cards get expensive, so if you need to add 5, no way. But phones come with it. Newer laptops come with it. But a desktop Wi-Fi card, may not be that expensive. And I would say don't go 6E. That's going to be way expensive. But a Wi-Fi 6 card, I think they're pretty reasonable now. I think you can get a desktop version of for $20-$30. So if you want to go the ultra cheap route and get better than 150 megabit, and you have an access point with Wi-Fi 6, that's an easy band-aid to get some more bandwidth for sure. But I hear you. Hardwired's the way to go. I like to hardwire everything I can. That's why I have a 48 port switch at home with only 2 people living here. It's because I want all my devices hardwired for sure. And it's just less radio waves flying through here. Probably not less, but more dependable for sure. Anyways, like I was saying, I do apologize if I skipped over your comment. I don't normally. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I don't normally, but I feel it when I skip over comments, because I know you guys came here to talk, and hey, I didn't read your comment, and I do apologize. But I'm like a half hour over time, and I do have to go. If you have something you want to say or something that needs my attention, you should absolutely join the Discord. You should join our Discord. We have a lot of people there. We just hit 9,000 members. It's partner Discord. They believe in it, so they gave us partnership status, and it's pretty cool. We have all the features and all the fun. We have lots of channels. We talk about lots of things, and it's a great place to get help too if you need it, or if you just want to have a side convo throughout work about something you're working on. It's a great place to do it, and it's a great place to get ideas too. That's where I got the idea for the stainless steel thing. PC Geek wasn't there when we were talking about, what's the name of the hardware place? Harbor Freight. But this did come out. This purchase right here did come out of me and a few other people sifting through different sites to figure out what could hold, a server rack. So anyways, all kinds of stuff like that. I would love for you to join in, and a place to share your projects too. I know people might not use social media or have a place to share, hey, their Homelab, or hey, their their PC setup or share pictures of their hardware, we have lots of places to share it there too. So it's fun. It's fun looking through everyone's home labs and what they're working on, because you get a lot of ideas. And a lot of help. And yeah, I say this a lot. I say this a lot, probably not enough, but somehow I got lucky to have like all of the nicest home lab people on the planet in my Discord server, and I really appreciate it. Like, everyone's nice, respectful, and very knowledgeable. They know so much more than me in so many different areas, and I greatly appreciate it. Now I'm rambling. I feel like you guys need to play the wrap it up music. LinkedIn, yeah, LinkedIn. I gotta look into LinkedIn. So, but yeah, I will see you. I will see you next week for sure. I'll be in Discord. Probably right after this. My light will be green. I'll just be plugging away on a couple other things after I talk to my wife. And if you need me, ping me. If you're not in Discord, it's totally fine too. Ping me on Twitter or X or whatever you call it now, or ping me on Mastodon. I'm everywhere. Just go to links.technotim.live. If you think I'm not there, I most likely am. So anyways, have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great Saturday. I will see you next week. I'll be in Discord, and take care, folks. Be good to each other. Take care.